And welcome, everybody. I'm Robert Adducci, and I'm here with Timothy Brown, our studio director. Welcome, Tim.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Yeah, so we are here to talk about Ulysses Worlds and Ulysses News. No guests today, just the two of us. Let's.
I thought we were the
Yeah, we are the
guests.
guests. Yeah, we are the
We're
permanent
the
guests.
guests. Right.
All right, welcome, Craft01. Folks, if you guys are in the chat and you have questions about what we're doing with Ulysses, with any of our products, go ahead and throw it in, add those questions in the chat, and we'll see if we can answer them.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Fading Suns to start with. Sound
Yeah.
good? The Universe Book Preview PDF is out to the backers. We talked about that a little last week, along with the feedback form that everybody will get. And you get a link to get that at Drive-Thru RPG. So if you're a backer, check this out and start, examining it for typos and other things with the preview PDF. That kind of thing is very helpful to us, very helpful to Bill and the whole editorial staff. So give that Universe Book Preview PDF a look. Our streaming content continues. Last week, John Matthew, GMJM, he took his group through the finale of the current Fading Suns arc, The Curse of the Abandoned. And you can see that the full arc is all up on YouTube. For Fading Suns as well, Bill Bridges, and original designer Andrew Greenberg still have their heretical musings every other Tuesday. That's at 2 p.m. Pacific, so you can check that out. This week, they talked about the Universe book and took a lot of questions from fans. Just to get reminded, check out the events on the Fading Suns Facebook page. So that's a lot of great stuff for Fading Suns fans out there.
Yeah, so those heretical musings, it's going to be the first and the third Tuesdays of each month, and so on the the Fading Suns Facebook page, we put up some events there, so you can go and you can say you're going to those events, and you'll be reminded of them. So just and you can ask questions there too. So if you're not going to be able to make the if you're not going to be able to see it live, you can ask some questions there, and we'll be sure to refer to those and answer any questions that we can during the show.
Great. So moving on to The Dark Eye, the crowdfunding for the Gods of Aventuria book and its associated wave of products that ended last week. If you missed it, don't worry. We'll be putting up a late pledge period soon. Do we have any idea how soon?
Eric said, I'm pretty sure he said like next week, kind of soon.
Okay, so that quick.
Yeah.
Then if you missed the Ulysses online convention, again, shame on you. But it was great. And from a few weeks ago, you can still catch the great panels on the Dark Eye on YouTube. There are 3 specific ones: the Dark Eye Past, Present, and Future, the Dark Eye for New GMs, and the Dark Eye 30 Years of Lore. I personally liked the last one the best, but definitely check that out. Some other streaming content that we have for the Dark Eye, of course, is presented by my partner here, Robert, who recently did a flip through of the Gods of Aventuria PDF in 2 parts. And again, you can find that on YouTube as well.
Yeah, so moving from the Dark Eye RPG into the Aventuria adventure card game, our next crowdfunding for that is targeted for late September. So that's next month, and you can expect those previews starting soon. It's going to be a crowdfunding that includes a lot of sort of add-ons from for Aventuria, adding more characters and adventures. Eric.
Yeah, Eric had a theme for that, and I've spaced on
I know.
it now.
I can't
What is
think of
that?
it. Something extraordinary heroes.
Extraordinary Heroes.
Extraordinary
That's
heroes.
it.
Yeah,
Well done. See, between us, we can do this show.
yeah. It's like we work here.
So yeah, there's the YouTube. You can catch that on a YouTube when Eric did his big talk about basic decks customization for Aventuria that he did at the Ulysses online convention a couple of weeks ago. You can definitely still check that out on YouTube. And of course, as always, we'll provide all the links after the show.
Definitely. And a lot of people have been asking about upgrade kits to go from first edition Aventuria to second edition, as well as the life wheel counters. And good news is that we are getting those. Some of those things I think are already at the warehouse. We're just waiting to get the exact details so I can put them on the store. So people that have been wanting those, they are going to be here shortly. I think the upgrade kits are not here yet, but I think the life wheel counters are. But regardless, they will all be
Okay.
here shortly, and we'll start talking about those and getting those links up.
Awesome. So moving forward through Ulysses' tremendous world of terrific products, the Myth Dawn of Heroes, the reissuing of the original Myth board game in its new edition. For that, the World Book, which we crowdfunded a little while ago, is now available on PDF. The cards that were included in the World of Myth crowdfunding are in proofing for print on demand and will be made public as soon as we can approve them. So those are definitely in the works. But that World Book is really a terrific volume. If you haven't checked it out already, check out that PDF. It really lays out the world and the meat of what makes the game itself so fun.
Yeah. So
as far as streaming content,
at Ulysses Online Convention, we released the Myth Dawn of Heroes demo rules, which you can get as print and play on DriveThruRPG, or you can also download the. I don't know if it's really download, but anyway, you can get the tabletop simulator version, which is really cool. So Eric and I played the tabletop simulator version on a stream for Gen Con a few weeks ago, and you can catch that video on YouTube.
Awesome.
Moving
Speaking
on.
of Gen Con.
Yeah, into...
just as an aside,
ahead.
Speaking of Gen Con, we didn't go to Gen Con. Gen Con was virtual this year.
Right.
I just today got a text from some hotel that said they were glad I stayed there, and today is my checkout. So I have to look into that. I don't think I was there.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure we canceled that.
little disorganization there, so we'll have to track that down. But I digress. As far as the Myth universe is concerned, of course, we're doing Tales of Legend as well, which is the role-playing game that's being set in that same universe and being designed by veteran game designer Ross Watson. And the Myth Tales of Legend RPG Quick Start was released during our Ulysses Online Convention a few weeks ago, and it too is available on DriveThruRPG. It's a unique new setting and a very unique game style that Ross has developed, and we definitely want everybody to check that out. I think there are some awards in Ross's future for this one. As far as streaming content for the Tales of Legend game, Ross and John Matthew host their campfire chat every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, where they talk about all aspects of the game. Is today's talk about the Three Rivers as detailed in the upcoming starter set?
Yeah, so they've been, they're really working on the starter set rules, which is going to, be part of the crowdfunding, and so they've been talking a lot about that those details. The next one is also about the starter set, and that one is about what is that going to be? Part 3, the Dim Wolf in the Packlands. So it's more about the Lukening, which are sort of like the werewolves in Myth.
Right.
Very cool. So talking about the Lost Barrow Quick Start Adventure, I did a read through of that on the Ulysses Grab Bag show over 2 sessions, to kind of get a feel for the setting and the rules and the adventure. So definitely check that out. And then if you want an even more in-depth version of that, tonight, JM is starting a new actual play. So he's going to run Ross and a couple of his other players through the Lost Barrow. So it's going to be probably 2 to 3 sessions. So it'll be tonight and the next couple of weeks. So if you want to see some Myth Tales of Legend in action by the creators, watch our Twitch channel tonight at 5:30 Pacific.
Awesome. So what about Torg? Torg Eternity Soldiers On. The Tharkold crowdfunding late pledge is now live. So if you missed out on that crowdfunding, you still have time. It goes through August the 25th. So that's just 5 days, isn't it?
Yeah, just 2 more days.
Okay, so 2 p.m. Pacific on the 25th. That's going to be that. So you're going to have to get in there as quick as you can. A lot of people have been getting their Cyber Papacy books in the mail. I hope everyone has at this point. So if you backed that crowdfunding, be on the lookout for that through your mail. And for those who want Cyber Papacy PDFs, they should be available to the general public on DriveThruRPG by the end of September. So that's a little bit down the road, but coming up fast. We still have a lot of great streaming content, of course, for Torg Eternity. The Four Horsemen goes every Tuesday at 5:30 Pacific on Twitch, followed up by upload to YouTube. This game is game mastered by John Matthew and features Ross Watson, a Torg Eternity designer, as one of the players. Those guys get together a lot.
They do.
Because they live near each other
Yeah.
and near our great studio out in Colorado Springs, where I'm going to visit next week. So you might see me on some of their stuff. And there's also for Torg, How to Be a Great Game Master, recently put up How to Be a Great GM recently put up several videos about Torg. The most recent was the Rybinsk Gambit, a Torg Eternity actual play one-shot. And I don't know if you've seen How to Be a Great GM, but the presentation and content are really spectacular. So definitely check that out as well.
Yeah, so he, all of that went really well, and he is also doing some Dark Eye content for us that will start coming out next month. So get ready for that. Yeah. So we've got a couple questions here in the chat, and again, if anybody is in the chat and you have questions, go ahead and throw them in there. And Craft01 asks a question about Torg and Fantasy Grounds. I know that the official Fantasy Grounds support has been coming for a while. Any news on it? So I know, excuse me, I know that Nerd Eye Industries has been working on that, and they're not just working on Torg, they're working on Torg, the Dark Eye, and Fading Suns. And so we don't have any more details on exactly when those will be coming out, just as soon as they're done. So we're hoping by the end of the year, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's hard for us to gauge progress on that sometimes, but one thing we can see is that, of course, we supply them with all kinds of material and art and whatnot, and they are gobbling that up at a pace that suggests they're working hammer and tongs on all three of those right now. So that's good news, and I think the end result's going to be well worth the wait.
Yeah, and that reminds me, I should ask Steve to be a guest with us one of these days. Here.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Call him now.
Yeah. So
get him out of the shower.
Yeah, right. And then E.T. Keller asks, any Vegas Con news updates? How was the survey response? I think Eric was probably looking at the
survey
surveys
response
right now.
is getting all of the survey responses right now. And the last I chatted with Eric, he's accumulating responses, and there's a lot of pretty wide variety of questions coming in associated with those. I don't have specific results, but I tell you what, I'll make a note. Tune in next week, and we will try to have an update on that very thing, because the potential of that Las Vegas show is going to be, sky high. I can't wait. So we definitely want that to happen. But I'll get you an update on the feedback response as far as we've got it by next week. Tune in then.
There you go. So I don't really see any other questions in the chat right now. Any other news about stuff going on that you can think about, Tim?
Well, let's see. There's plenty of reorganization and typical stuff going on in it, as often happens in a publishing company. None of which is of great interest to the fans, but suffice to say that just on a broad and general level, this is a great period of time for Ulysses. We are very happy with a lot of the products that we're putting out right now, especially a lot of the stuff that we're originating in English, which is the focus of our efforts over here. And with some of the ones that we have on the horizon, we just the attitude within the company and everybody's joy at coming into work on all this stuff has really never been higher. So it's fun to be a part of. And thank you to all the fans, because without you, there would be no us. Trust me, we recognize that that we get to do all this fun stuff. And right now we're on an uptick. Things are going well for Ulysses.
Definitely.
And well for gaming in general, I think.
Yeah. E.T. Keller asks, any Hexen news?
Yes, actually there is. Obviously, it's Hexen is a game that was Hexen 1733, to be specific, was an original German design game. So to bring it out in English, we're working through the translation and working to find exactly the right editors to work on that. Mirko, the original designer, he sent to me several sample edited chapters just the other day that we are reviewing right now for quality, because it's not as easy as you think to take a German translation and turn it into nice, readable English. And we want to make sure we get the right people on that.
Definitely.
But that is in the works. Much of the translation is done. Now we're finding the editors to whip it into publishable shape. Our plan now, as you and I chatted about it the other day, Robert, is to bring Hexen out in English, certainly in the coming year, and we sort of tentatively have it slated for, as I recall, wasn't that like June or so of next
I
year?
think it's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's sort of our plan right now, and we are on pace to make that happen. So it's that's just a fun universe. We got to play it with Mirko the last time we were in Germany, and yeah, it's pretty wild fun. So definitely want to get that out. Thanks for the question.
Nice. Yeah. So I think that's about gonna wrap it up for us today. Quick news show. Next week we'll see who we can get on for the guests. Oh, is that when you said you weren't gonna be around, Tim? Is that next week?
Yeah, I have to
Okay.
bow out next week. I'm traveling. I'll be on the road during showtime, so you may not see me, but you'll probably see
Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah. We'll see and see if I can find a co-host. That way you don't just have to listen to me babble on. So I think I think that's gonna call it for today. So thanks for watching the Ulysses World Show. If you'd like to chat more with Ulysses folks or other fans, please check out our Discord. And if you like the show, please follow and subscribe to our channels on Twitch and YouTube, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything. For Ulysses Spiel, I'm Robert Adducci, and this is Tim Brown. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much, everybody. Take care.
And come back next Thursday at 9 a.m. for more Ulysses Worlds news. Bye.